YouTube live thing. Actually, we just released a new video about Adapt.
Yeah, it's really good.
And it talks about the certification, and it basically has Chow and Yan talking about this kind of stuff anyway. So, and you can see Sarcelle, the forest there where it was born.
Question: how do we?
Oh, I wanted to go back to the government part. How did you guys get the British government behind parkour? I mean, I think that's something.
We threatened them with knives, basically. No, we
jump through the windows.
Fire.
it was basically hard work, man. It was basically me and Forrest at the time were teaching a class, an academy class, once a week in London, and it became very, very popular, and it caught the attention of the City of Westminster, which is the central sort of council in London, and they then asked us if we'd teach sort of a youth academy free for kids in Westminster, so we said yeah, and that did really well, and then they asked us to teach in a school, and then it's because we'd been doing the teaching for a couple of years sort of thing, and had been they could see that there was a discipline to it, and it was very beneficial and regular, and guys were really into it, and the demographic, the people training were very serious about it. It kind of destroyed the myth that it's all crazy anarchic roof jumping stuff. And so then it built from there, and then other councils got involved and wanted us to teach, and eventually Sport England, the main governing body for sports, got involved and wanted to really develop it. So now it's being pushed very hard, and they want it to be offered to pretty much every school in the country, which is way beyond what we can teach. But there are ways and means to do it. But,
how would we here go about getting into that and getting the Adapt certification?
Yeah, it's a long wait for you guys, but the first sort of open course will be in like March, April next year, but that'll be, I think, in the UK, and there'll probably be one in France about a month later. But what we might do is come out to the States if there's enough demand here, and there probably is, because we know quite a lot of guys in America. Like, we might come out and do a special one here, but it's a bit tricky. It's a bit tricky over here because it's not just a question of doing the exam and passing. I mean, it's really a question of being seen, logging coaching hours, being seen to teach, so that you can know that you can really teach and take care of groups, and take care of different groups, kids, adults, individuals, big groups, indoors, outdoors, all that stuff, and that they're responsible, reliable individuals mainly, and that you can't really tell that. You can get a handle on it, but you can't really tell it in the 3 day exam, 4 day exam that Adapt is. So it's easier for the guys in the UK and France and Europe, because they can just come to the academy, spend 2 months assisting in the workshops and the schools and that, and so they can get experience, and we can know, okay, this guy is clearly a good teacher, and that's how we find our coaches at the moment. But yeah, we'll have to do something like that, and come over and do it, and bring a couple of the Yamakasi. Always have to be there anyway, so some of them, 2 of us. All come to England.
Sounds
very cheap. Tyson's coming this month. Come with him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you guys want to come for a run, it'll come up for a run. That's good intro.
Yeah, well, I think it'll be good, but it'll be painful, but it'll be good.
As you said, the teaching demand is growing really, really fast, and it's going to be growing faster than you guys are going to be able to certify people. And a lot of people are not going to be able to make it over to the UK at the cost for the time or anything like that. Have you guys given more thought now to supporting other associations and other groups who are starting to do a lot of teaching themselves, and building some safety systems to get people liability insurance and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, we think that there's way too much demand. We're basically based in the UK and France. We do travel a lot, but we're not there regularly. So we think the local associations have to really step up and take responsibility. And there are loads of good associations like Tyson's, that are doing the right thing, exactly the right thing. And they need to. What we think is they need to be knitted together very well. So there's a good flow of information between them, and they're all roughly on the same page. So that again, that will be recognised by the kind of the world's authorities. They look at it and go, there clearly is there's not just little groups doing their own thing. There clearly is a network of guys who have the same approach, the same discipline, roughly the same standards. It doesn't have to be identical, but on the same page, and that gives the discipline much more credibility. So yeah, I mean, at the moment there's a huge amount of discussion at the moment with the government of the UK as well as to how we can try to facilitate that internationally, not just in the UK. Because it really does have to be done, you know, and it has to be done by people who are going to stick at it for many years. It takes bloody ages to set something like that out, as you know. So that kind of that something like that does need to happen, I think, and really create like a hub where all the associations can then link to get knowledge from, and also get support from, get financial support from, to help their own projects. And things like this global, you know, Parkour global gathering, that probably would generate, if that was set up, probably would generate a massive amount of money from the media attention we get, and that money can then be taken and plowed back into associations around the world to help them develop what they're doing. So that's kind of the level of thing it has to be, yeah. But it starts on the ground by good associations being set up.
Is there any advice you can give that local associations can kind of take right off the bat? Because I know, like I said before, it's growing a lot. These guys are starting to host classes that are starting to do more things. Should they incorporate people with business? Say
there are many
steps to become a non-profit, or
there are many different ways you can do it, and it depends on the country. In America, it's probably different. In the UK, there are lots of different ways. You can have associations that are purely association-based. You can have associations that are a company, actually, but they're not a profit-making company, but it's still a company. So there's lots of different ways you can do it, and you probably have different laws for it. But I would say, yeah, go down the association route, whatever your route is here, and begin looking at setting that stuff up officially, make it democratic, you know, have lots of people's input. Don't just have one guy leading it. You know, we saw the mistakes that happened in the UK with one guy in charge, and it was, for many years, it was an absolute nightmare. Kind of still is. So don't go down that route. But the main thing is just have a good base of what you do. Don't think it's all in the bureaucracy. The main thing, we found that out. The main thing was just that we didn't even think about that crap at the beginning. We didn't have companies or associations or anything. We were just teaching, and it grew from that. It's just that how you teach, how well you teach, whether you can create a good system, a good discipline, and have good people built up around you, and good student body that grows and become really competent, skilled guys. That's what you need to develop. If you have that, then people will look at it and go, "Oh, these guys know what they're doing," and then they'll give you what you need to do it. So, yeah, do that sort of stuff, and get people to sign waivers before they train out.
Out here, we have you can go to like a skateboard park, at least like one every 10 miles out here. Where you're at, are there free running parks or parkour parks?
Free running parks for sure.
Yeah, they're coming in the UK. We've got 2 that are being funded by Sport England at the moment. That cost a lot of money, but there'll be public access open parks in London. And again, there was a lot of discussion about whether we should have them or not. Because some people think maybe if you have parks, then it will take people away from training in the real environment and all that sort of stuff, which is a valid concern.
Skateboarding, it didn't work.
But yeah, it didn't work with skateboarding. I don't think it'll ever take people away from that. But the good thing about having a park is that you can then run big events, big classes, big seminars in a space that is bespoke for you. And you won't get bothered by police by having 300 people there. You'll be allowed to be there. It's designed for training. And it's enclosed and all that sort of stuff. So it's a really good idea. It won't stop people doing stuff around the city or whatever. We'll never just go and train in these parks. But they're a very good tool to then run classes, take kids there, that sort of stuff. And it kind of, again, it gives it a certain level of credibility.
What are they made of? Have you been to one? Or?
They haven't been built yet. They're being built at the moment. They're made out of I can't remember. The construction guys did tell me, but I can't remember. It's some shit that basically you can survive a nuclear war. I don't know. It's really it's really hard, solid stuff, and it lasts forever. I can't remember what it says. Some sort of thing.